I have seen a lot of videos going around with Congress talking about high paid CEOs. Mark Zuckerberg, Jamie Dimon, some of these high level CEOs make a ton of money and Congress hates it. Okay, so let's talk about why these CEOs make so much money. So again, a lot of times you'll see in Congress, they're arguing with a high-paid CEO and they're saying the low-level workers don't make enough money. They're just making slightly over minimum wage, or the products are too expensive. Why wouldn't you discount your salary a little bit and distribute the wealth? Totally makes sense. I get it. The problem is these CEOs are paid a lot of money for a reason. Let's talk about that reason. A CEO's goal is to know what's going to happen in the market, what's going to happen in the business, what's going to happen in the economic climate over the next 2 to 5 to 10 years, okay? And if they continually guess right what's going to happen in 2 to 5 to 10 years, their company explodes in value. And Jamie Dimon is a great example of that because he's been able to foresee what's going to happen in the markets and plan ahead. And JP Morgan Chase and whatever the company was he was at prior to JP Morgan Chase has thrived for 100 years, right? A CEO's goal is to understand what the future looks like. And these high paying CEOs know exactly what that is. So the question is, how much would you pay to know the future? 20 million a year? Right? 30, 40, 50 million a year. You can see why these wages go up so high because these CEOs have value that no one else has. And so these companies aren't just giving out tons of dividends and super high paying W-2 jobs to CEOs because they can, because they have all these earnings that they just need to get rid of so they have tax write-offs. They're not doing that. They're paying a substantial amount of money for the top 500 people in the world to run their companies, right? The S&P 500 is the top 500 US businesses, right, that are on the New York Stock Exchange or whatever exchange it is, right? And Standard & Poor's has this list of 500 companies, okay? Those CEOs, okay, are the top 500 CEOs in the world that are guessing what's going to happen in the future. If you think about the NFL, there are a little over 1,600 professional NFL players, okay? And a lot of them make a lot of money, right? But if we're looking at the S&P 500, that means that there's only 500 CEOs in the world that are competing at this top level, competing to foresee what the future is. And that's why CEOs make so much money at those high level businesses. It's not because the businesses have it to just distribute, but it's because they tell the future and then they know what's going to happen and they've guessed right over and over and over again. And so chances are the next time they guess, they're going to be right. And so they're worth it.